I know math is not the Conservative Party of Canada's forte.
And the budget will balance itself.
So,
the liberals just want to go as it is, no changes. The Conservatives want to actually not only do they want to change the approach, they want to let big polluters pollute as much as they want. So think about the lakes and the rivers in the north. They don't mind if the big polluters pollute as much as they want into the lake, in the water, into the land, into the air. That's also a problem. That's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your family. It's going to hurt your kids. So we want a plan that is fair, that actually takes on the big polluters, that reduces our emissions, protects our planet. That's what New Democrats want, and we'll lay that plan out in the future. But let's be clear. We need a plan, and we need life to be affordable. The Liberals haven't made life affordable, and the Conservatives have no plan. We're different.
Okay, we're going to go to questions on Zoom next.
Yes.
Our first question comes from David Thurton with the CBC.
Hi, Mr. Singh. I want to ask you about the announcement that we're seeing about the billions in taxpayer money that's going to backstop another manufacturing facility within the EV supply chain. How does the NDP view this? Would you, if you form government, continue to honor these investment tax credits?
So we support investments to create jobs in Canada, but we have a very different approach from the Liberals and the Conservatives. The Liberals and the Conservatives both have taken a blank check approach. Before, when Harper was in power, they gave big tax credits and big corporate handouts to large corporations, hoping that it would spur investment, hoping that it would create jobs. But many of those companies took the money and left. I remember going to one of those protests, one of those rallies in London, Ontario, where a subsidiary of Caterpillar received a big corporate handout from the Conservatives at the time, and they shut their factory down in London. They took the money and left. There's no strings attached to the money, so they just took it and left. And my concern with the investments the Liberals are making is I want to see ironclad guarantees that the investments that are being made are tied to good wages, good jobs, good union jobs, and that those investments are there for the long term. I need to see those guarantees. That's what New Democrats would do differently. Anytime we spend public money, we would ensure that there's ironclad guarantees that ensure that every cent that we spend on creating jobs in our country goes towards creating jobs, Canadian jobs. We know that a lot of concern that workers have raised about the next gen plant in Windsor and the surrounding area, that their jobs that were supposed to be Canadian jobs are being done by temporary foreign workers. That is not acceptable. That's wrong. We need to see jobs being created in Canada for Canadians. And if we're spending our public money, that's where the work should be. That's where the job should be. And so that's the difference between us and the Liberals. My concern with the Conservatives, we want to see guarantees. I want to see create jobs for ironclad guarantees that the investments that are being made are tied to good wages, good jobs, good union.
I know math is not the Conservative Party of Canada's forte.
What you've been
And the
saying
budget will balance itself.
And
so
do you think perhaps that your original messaging maybe was not
jobs,
present?
and that those investments are there for the long term. Well, I need to see. I want people to know the price of. That's what New Democrats would do. The price of Polyev. Anytime we spend public money, there is we would ensure that there's ironclad guarantees that ensure that every cent.
How many scandals do you think Trudeau has had? I have another video over here showing how many, and it is a lot. And I think shame needs to be brought back into Canada because he has no shame anymore, and I think it just trickles down to everyone underneath him. And that's what's really frustrating about Trudeau. And as far as the election is concerned,
that's wrong.
Obviously, there should have been one a year ago. But do you think it'll really be in October 2025? Because his steam, like all he has to do is smile,
and so that's the difference.
And for the camera, go on his vacations. There's going to be a new love in his life coming up, probably because he has to because he needs to take attention away from himself. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Let's go back to the video.
Was this message any different from what you've been saying in the past? And do you think perhaps that your original messaging maybe was not resonating?
Well, I want people to know the price of PR because the price of Polyev is costly. There is a cost to Conservatives. Conservatives are very costly. And people in Ontario know that. Wherever we go across the country where Conservatives are in power, people have seen what Conservatives do. They cut the healthcare you need. You end up paying more out of pocket for your healthcare that should be covered, should be a part of a free universal program, but you end up spending out of pocket. They cut education. They cut investments in housing. They make things worse for workers. And I want people to know the price of.
And is Chrystia Freeland doing a good job? She is the finance minister and the vice president of Canada. And she is the one that just looks like her head is just spinning when she talks. It's always like trying to drag it on, never answer a question. And maybe they should have this I thought they would always do this. When they ask a question, say, do you mind after you finish it, if you give me 5 seconds to say if you answered it or not for our listeners, because it is so frustrating. Everything is an infomercial with both of them. And that's something that I think needs to be stopped. Maybe the whole Constitution and the human rights and everything needs to be rewritten again after those two are gone, because this is just frustrating what they're doing. Anyway, let's go back to the video.